A very warm welcome to you from the People's Republic of China. Shanghai Shenhua versus Vissel Kobe tonight brings together two teams in wildly contrasting form in the AFC Champions League Elite East Zone. At the midway point of the 12-team group, with the top 8 going through to the last 16, Vissel Kobe are top of the pile on goal difference, but they're still top. Shanghai Shenhua are 11th, 2 points adrift of the qualifying cutoff. There is every suggestion Kobe have earned enough points already via their 3 wins thus far to be qualified, even with 4 matches still to play. This fixture is all about Shenhua and their needs. Leonid Slutsky's team here did at least win their last home fixture in this group 2-0 against FC Seoul just over a month ago. Plus they drew with Ulsan HD at the Shanghai Stadium. Leonid Slutsky there approaching his 2-year anniversary in the Shenhua hot seat. That Ulsan HD fixture on match night 2 resulted in stalemate, so no problem in dealing with Korean opposition. Now comes the challenge of Japan, tonight being the first of 3 back-to-back matches for Shanghai Shenhua against Japanese teams. Vissel Kobe tonight, Sanfrecce Hiroshima away in a couple of weeks, and back here against Machida Zelvia on the resumption of the group stage in February. They'll hope to have done enough by then to not have to rely on needing a result in Thailand on the last match day. That from the trip to Buriram United. Points are absolutely critical for Shanghai Shenhua to stay in this competition. A disappointment befell both of these teams at the weekend. Shanghai Shenhua were yet again pipped at the finish line in the CSL title race by city rivals Shanghai Port. Vissel Kobe were defeated in the Emperor's Cup final by Machida Zelvia. But there's an opportunity to blow away the cobwebs in continental competition tonight. Vissel Kobe, the back-to-back champions of Japan, but outgoing champions too. Fixtures still to fulfill in the J1 calendar this season, but they cannot win the title. Kashiwa Antlers and Kashiwa Reysol are too far ahead. And the qualifying route into AFC Champions League 2 for next season has been shut off by that cup final defeat to Machida Zelvia. So it's all about either winning this competition or winning the J-League 100-year Vision League at the start of next year, at the start of 2026, if Vissel Kobe want to return to this competition for 2026-27. Fantastic stadium this here in Shanghai, not full, but these supporters will make a lot of noise to begin with to greet our teams. Out they come, Shanghai Shenhua, led by their captain Wu Shi, a scorer in the weekend at Tianjin, which wasn't enough to win the title. Vissel Kobe look to Tetsushi Yamakawa to provide the on-field leadership. Vissel have come to Shanghai and won already in AFC Champions League Elite play this season. 3-0 across town at the Pudong Stadium against Kevin Muscat's poor team 10 weeks ago. The team that beat Shenhua to the line again in the domestic title race. Eric, Miyashiro and Yuya Osako all on target in the first half that night in a ruthless attacking display. Osako is the only player of that trio who starts tonight here. The AFC Champions League anthem respectfully observed as ever. The Shanghai Shenhua starting 11 was the same for the 3-1 defeat to Johor in the AFC Champions League Elite, their last outing in this competition, and the win at Tianjin. There's one change tonight, a first start in 5 months in any competition for Saulo Mineiro, wearing 11, the Brazilian striker who hit a hat-trick when these two teams met in February before the torn muscle that's ravaged his year. He also came off the bench to score Shanghai's consolation goal against JDT from the penalty spot. Tonight's officials are from Korea Republic, Kim Jeong-hyuk, AFC Asian Cup referee. This is third assignment in AFC Champions League Elite this season. Also recently took charge of Japan against Brazil in the Kirin Cup last month. Bushi and Tetsushi Yamakawa, two distinguished captains of our teams. 5 changes for Vissel Kobe from the team that defeated Ulsan HD on matchday 4-6 from the losing Emperors Cup final team on Saturday. Ino, Honda, Ide and Osako all come off the bench at the Tokyo National Stadium. They all start tonight though. Gonda returns in goal, so too Koya Yuruki in the front three on the left there. Beware the Kobe bench tonight though. Taisei, Miyashiro and Jean-Patrick. Multiple goals they can provide. Miyashiro, who dropped out of the team tonight, came on as a sub to score twice against Gangwon on match day 3. That was an extraordinary matchup that for Vissel Kobe. He looked to be out of sight in that one. Out of sight. 3-0 down at half-time. Came back to equalise, ended up losing to a goal in the last seconds. The only blemish on coach Yoshida's Champions League record this season with Vissel Kobe. Away we go with Shanghai Shenhua against Vissel Kobe. The East Zone leaders, Vissel Kobe, are in the house. It's the last match of the 5th round of East Zone fixtures in AFC Champions League Elite to kick off this week. We've seen Wins for Melbourne City, matchday, Xelvia, FC Seoul. We've already seen a match here in Shanghai across town. FC Seoul won that against Shanghai Port by 3-1. Chengdu, Rongcheng and Sanfrecce Hiroshima ended all square, as did Ulsan HD and Buriram United, which concluded just before we kicked off here. Early set-piece situation potential for Shenhua in the blue here. Leonid Slutsky, former coach of the Russia national team. He is experienced and well-travelled, and he's watching his team threaten straight off here. Gao Tianyi will play down the right-hand side. He started all the Shenhua fixtures in this competition this season. Defending to do, and it was well defended as well on the far post. It was a good delivery. Zhu Chunye was up there, the big centre-half, to nod it back across. And they scramble it away. Takayuki Yoshida, later claimed to being the most successful interim coach in club history. Took over midway through the 2023 campaign. Yoshida was their third coach of that campaign when Vissel Kobe were bottom. Extraordinary form since. The league titles that have been delivered, as Vissel Kobe have properly sharpened their elbows and got amongst the elite group of clubs in J1. It all started with the Emperor's Cup win in 2019. They had a Galacticos era. Andres Iniesta played for Vissel Kobe. David Silva briefly, Lucas Podolski. And then the moment they kind of went with homegrown talent, and that's when the titles started to come. Haruya Ide, second start of AFC Champions League Elite for him. There is competition in every position for Vissel Kobe, and that's why they've managed to be competitive on so many fronts. Okay, the third straight title is not going to happen this year, but still third with 2 matches to play. An issue here for Luis Asue, the Equatorial Guinea international, who will play up front. Saulo and Andre Luis of Brazil, Teixeira as well is important there. The recruits from international football that Shanghai Shenhua hoped would topple Shanghai Port from the top of the domestic game. It hasn't happened again. Yellow card straight off the bat here for Yuki Honda. Now Matthias Tula at the back. He's the normal partner of Yamakawa. Well, we're less than 5 minutes in, and Vissel Kobe have one of their centre-halves on a yellow card. Our Korean official laying down a marker. Katsuya Nagata. Challenge there on Ide. To push on, support the front three. Yuruki left, Osako through the middle. Daiju Sasaki is the third member of that attacking trio. But if things don't go their way, you feel sure we'll see Tayasie Miyashiro at some stage, their top scorer in J1 this season. Miyashiro is not even a striker. Plays just in behind. So just a reminder, this was a Group stage fixture last season happened on the last match day 8. Shenhua needed a result. Vissel Kobe were already through at that stage. They got the result as well by 4-2 here. Shenhua. Salo Minero scored a hat-trick in that one. Nagato was forward. And keeping with the almost national tradition of Japanese club sides, Vissel Kobe are a possession-based team. The technical ability in their ranks is Sasaki. Able to swing it across for Osako. Ideguchi. Ball returned into the penalty area and offside. Far side. Just there, Osako. Bao Sheng is the goalkeeper for Shanghai Shenhua, but wasn't the most convincing of distributions. Yamakawa. Here's Nagato. Left hands, full back. Ketsuya Nagato, joined from Yokohama F Mariners. Kobe played both legs of the final in this competition in 2024, when the Marinos were dismantled by Al Ain in the second leg after winning the first at the Nissan Stadium by 2-1. The last of our two-legged finals in the old format. Asway does really well, ball across too, which demanded saving. At least the attempt did. Shuichi Gonda spread himself brilliantly there. Asway with a break down the left, which she sets it up. Pressure still on here. It was Andre Luis getting into position centrally there to try and get on the end of that cross from Luis Asway. First scare for Vissel Kobe. Nagato will take the pass from Yuki Honda. Couldn't keep it in play. Bright start here from the Shanghai Shenhua. Usamanafa, Portuguese national, steady presence down the right-hand side. Little aimless, I'm afraid, that from Chun Shinichi. Shuichi Gonda, 36. It's a backup for Daya Meikawa, who is the first choice, all things being equal, in goal for Vissel Kobe. Hasn't featured at all in the league, Gonda. Third start here in the AFC Champions League Elite competition. Daiju Sasaki has taken a tumble. Training a week or so for him. Started in the Emperor's Cup final. Well, that was the break from Asway down the left. Just nudges it ahead of Yamakawa there. It was a tempting ball across as well. But Gonda does well to deny Andre Luis. So Nanasino is going to have a busy night right back for Vissel Kobe up against Luis Asway. And we've got another yellow card, this time for Yuya Kawasaki there. It's another Vissel Kobe defenders into the referee's notebook here. Really strong start from Shanghai Shenhua. First booking of the competition this season for Kawasaki. Again, a good delivery, having an awful lot of joy down the right-hand side. Andre Luis with the header. Kobe scrambling away, not too far though. It's Chun Shinichi. Who was the better pass there on the right. Now Manafa. Teixeira, former Liverpool player, briefly with Liverpool, start of the 2010 show. Teixeira, Gao Qianyi, try and get beyond Eno here. Nothing doing. Well, set the stall out early here, Shanghai Shenhua. The approach of a team that know they have to come out and try and get a result tonight. Wu Shi did well, just heeled it across. It was on its way, wasn't it? That header from Andre Luis. A super clearance from Yuya Osaka. Centre forward doing his bit. 10 league goals for Andre Luis. So desperately want to get one over there. Crosstown rivals in Shanghai Port. 2 CSL seasons in a row now that Port and Shenhua have gone into the final day with a chance of winning the title. Crucially, Port have just been ahead on those 2 occasions. 2 points was the gap in the end. At the weekend, they actually won 3-1 at Tianjin. Jinmen Tiger did Shanghai Shenhua. It was a terrific result there. But Shanghai Port themselves won a Dalian Yingbo, which leaves Shanghai Shenhua 3 decades waiting now since their last national title in 1995. Teixeira really got on the ball. João Teixeira, Braga born, came through the youth systems at Braga and Sporting. Liverpool took a punt on him, almost £1 million back in the 2012, the January transfer window of 2012. Under 21 Premier League appearances for João Teixeira. Never quite made the grade. He's really found his niche here in Shanghai. 3rd year with Shenhua for Teixeira. Drop of the shoulder there from Ide. Teixeira launches it forward. That's Wu Shi. Super little ball over the top for Luis Asway here. Luis Asway! Oh, unlucky. He had that decoy in Saulo Mineiro just off to the right-hand side, and it gave him a little bit more room through the middle. But Luis Asway has clipped the top of the cage as well, by the looks of things on the way through. There goes the run from Saulo Mineiro, which carves Vissel Kobe open. Scored against Tianjin at the weekend and has just returned from international duty with Equatorial Guinea. Asway on by a goal to nil in Kenya. Manafa breaks forward. The determination and drive here from Shenhua is exactly what the coach would have wanted to see. It's Andre Luis. And Kobe having to really scramble and huff and puff to get the ball clear. Wonderful ball in by Manafa. They are really on it. Shenhua. Gonda takes a tumble. It's a good claim now by Shuichi Gonda. early there into Andre Luis. Yamakua blocks him off. How about this for a cross from Wilson Manafa? Good goalkeeping. There's a collision with Asway, I think there. Gonda and Asway. Just bumps the shoulder, doesn't he? The goalkeeper there, Shuichi Gonda. Shuichi Gonda, that's Yuki Honda. Part of the rearguard action for Vissel Kobe. Vissel, who started the campaign with the win here in Shanghai, 3-0 against Paul. Beat Melbourne City just a goal 4 minutes into stoppages by Koya Yoruki. Was that thriller in career against Gangwon? They followed it up with another win against Ulsan HD. Jean-Patrick, the scorer there. So the way this new format works, if you start strongly, take the pressure off the second half of the group stage. That's the situation Kobe find themselves in. 9 points. Melbourne City have moved on to 9 points as well. After their victory earlier this week against Johor Darul Ta'zim. 7 points was good enough to qualify in 8th place last season from the East Zone group. Currently it's Buriram United, 6 points in 8th place. Shenhua, 4 points in 11th. So one win can propel you up the charts. A little bit loose there from Gonda. Asway for Yamakawa. Shi tries to get in there. Breaks kindly for Yusuke Ideguchi. This is where Kobe can look dangerous. Koya Yoroki now. 2 potential targets inside the box. Well, that's the layoff. Nicely set up by Kawasaki, and Nagato tries to swing it in. Manafa with the block off. Luis Asway from Equatorial Guinea. Wilson Manafa from Guinea-Bissau. Has Portuguese nationality. Manafa. Really quite impressed with him in last season's competition. Well, first attempt at the attack. Repelled from the throw. Second phase, unsuccessful as well for Vissel Kobe. Manafa picks it up. Nice ball up there to Ideguchi. Nail from Andre Luis. More speed, less haste. Jiang Shunlong. Let's give it away. Nagato. And Yuruki was dispossessed. Nagato again. Slightly awkward one for Zhu Chunye to deal with. Breaks for Wu Shi. Andre Luis steps back, draws the contact. Free kick for Shanghai Shenhua. used to play for Vissel Kobe, Takayuki Yoshida. Safe to say that it's as a coach where he's really found his calling. Won the 2 leagues and the Emperor's Cup in 2024. Takayuki Yoshida as Kobe coach. Indeed, the defeat to Matchday Zelvia at the weekend deprived them of back-to-back Emperor's Cup wins. Chun Shinichi with the throw-in, causing problems as well. Clever pass out that by Gonda, finds Osako, works so hard for the team. Yuya Osako. Kawasaki. Thumped away by Chun Shinichi. Nagato. Ino. It's a little bit loose there from Chun. Allowed Sasaki to pick up possession. Ideguchi. Little bit high that for Osako. And Yoruki was unmarked, and with the goal gaping, has nudged his header wide. They just step it up a little here. Vissel Kobe in the final third. That's a delightful spin back by Yosuke Ideguchi. It's a little too high for Yuya Osako, but Yoruki just has to hit the target there, doesn't he, surely? Great opportunity. Wu Shi. Back for Zhu Chunye. Bao Xiong. Forward it goes. First touch there from Saulo Mineiro. Ripped a thigh muscle back in June, which has decimated the second half of the calendar year season in China for Saulo Mineiro. Off the bench twice, and indeed scored against Johor Darul Tazim last time out in this competition, but no activity otherwise since he got injured. Big night for him tonight, big night for Shenhua, all told. Latino. Kawasaki. Osaka. Manifest snapped in with a challenge. João Teixeira. 2 around him. Challenges were fair, according to the referee. Here's Ide. Tries to cut it back. Too much traffic. Dealt with by Shenhua. Long ball up and over the top, looking for Andre Luis. Gao Tianyi there. They're trying to tidy it up for Shenhua. The challenge by Jiang and Manafa. Oh, he did well there. Andre Luis, nicely worked. Teixeira is able to switch it to Chun Shinichi. That's where he makes the dart. Has to come short though for Wu Shi in the meantime. 92 caps for China. Wu Shi. 9 goals in the season just concluded in the CSL. A competition goal-scoring wise that was ultimately dominated by the Angolan, English-born Angolan Fabio Abreu scored 28 in 30 starts for Beijing Goa, who were the best of the rest in China after this year's AFC Champions League Elite representatives. Shanghai Port, Shanghai Shenhua and Chengdu Rongchong finished third in the CSL, then Beijing Goa do have a chance to get into this competition for next year with winning the Chinese FA Cup, the Beijing team. Osako. Ino. Kawasaki. Falls backwards. Hideguchi. Nadesino on the overlap. Oh, well forward. Who's going to win that? The answer was Gao Chen-Yi. They can't get it away. It's Nagato. Plenty of options in the area. And the header from Sasaki is straight at Bao Ya-Xiang. Has found their feet in an attacking sense with Vissel Kobe since the midway mark in this first half in Shanghai. In the air as well. Well, it's their own fault that Shanghai Shenhua chance to clear was not taken. Sasaki plants that header straight at Bao. Vissel Kobe have possession again. Gao Chen-Yi will clear it. In the process of establishing control here, Vissel Kobe. Just able to implement this passing game. The ball had just tickled out of play there. Haruye Ide has come over to the left-hand side. Mainly used as a sub in the league campaign. The league campaign, I suppose you might say, that inevitably suffered with the success they were having on all fronts. Busy AFC Champions League Elite campaign, plus going so deep into the Emperor's Cup and the J-League Cup. To the quarter-finals of the J-League Cup. They were beaten actually by Yokohama FC, a team who are about to be relegated. But what really hurt them was a 2-2 draw at Albirex Niigata. They were just being relegated. It's on the 26th of October, match week 35 in J1. So first defeat in 5 matches in the Emperor's Cup final. Just really solid now, with an excellent squad. Vissel Kobe. Half an hour goal here in Shanghai. No score yet. But we're being treated to a really decent match. There's that quick transition again. Teixeira through for Andre Luis. He has support here from Saulo Mineiro. It doesn't quite seem to be hitting the marks, does he, Saulo? You do have to feel a little for him. It's a huge occasion in which to be restored. the tempo, the pace, the crackle of this one was a little beyond him right now. Osako, lovely little dink through, got an overlapper as well. It's into the back of the net. Ideguchi picked up that return ball from Osako. The flag is up. Somehow they managed to maintain the momentum of that move. High tempo, quickly controlled passing. Now then, well, that first ball through was called offside, and it didn't seem to be, did it? Well, are we going to have dialogue between the on-field officials and indeed the VARs? Kim Woo-sung and Lee, also of Korea Republic, up in the booth. It seems that the goal has been awarded after all. They had to check it out, but the goal was good. There was no offside. Yusuke Ideguchi gives Vissel Kobe the lead here in Shanghai. So the ball comes in short to Yuya Osako. There's the little clip through. You can see there Wilson Manafa is playing Daiju Sasaki on. Tiny bit of interplay after that. And Vissel Kobe have the opening goal here. The 29-year-old on the score sheet for the first time since May. He's got the single J1 goal in 2025 against Fajano Okayama. Third AFC Champions League Elite star, and he's got his first goal in the competition. Key one here. For all their effervescence in the opening half an hour, Shanghai Shenhua find themselves trailing. Chun blasts it forward. Going to come back to Gonda. Nagato. Reward as well for being able to get on top in this first half. Weathered the early storm. Kobe. Good challenge that. Honda reading the spin by Andre Luis. There's Osako. Revolves Nanasino. Little ball in there to Sasaki, and then the attempt is rolled wide. We need to play with a little bit of flair and a bit of freedom now, attacking-wise. Vissel Kobe in this kind of psychological state that they have, where the pressure, frankly, is off in this section. Can play with a bit more freedom. Not so that man's team. Manafa. Andre Luis says Salo Minero's got the overlapper. Salo with no power behind the shot. Again, this desire to impress is understandable. So 2 attempts apiece on target. Yamakawa picks out Yuruki. First touch that is. That's wonderful play by Koya Yuruki. Away down the left-hand side. Asako is a target inside the area. It comes behind him. And normally you expect Nanase Ino to be rushing up from right back to get on the end of that. Oof. Saulo, he was chopped down there. They don't get the advantage the way things transpired in that attack. Chopped down. Couldn't do anything. Surprising there that referee Kim allowed that move to proceed, but he did. Haruyi Ide now. Yuruki. Ide. Oh, beautiful skill by Ide as Wu Shi to tidy up. Clearance wasn't convincing. Daiju Sasaki, Nanase Ino. Suke Ideguchi. It's nudged in there to Sasaki. Ino. Ideguchi. Cross in from Ino. That's slayed off and well saved in the end by Bao to deny Osako. So much room again for Koyo Yuruki, left-hand side here. So Ino with a really deep cross. That's a smart stop by Bao Xiang. He was almost shaping to go the other way there, but manages to recorrect his stance, down low to the right. There's the cross, flicked in. Oh, terrific goal. That is Tetsushi Yamakawa with the most delightful of contacts. He flicked it up and behind and on and in. Delightful move again, and Vissel Kobe have just selected cruise control here in Shanghai. Deftness and lightness of touch here characterises this header. There's the cross, there's the header, there's the goal. Well, you can see why he's basically first name on Coach Ishida's team sheet. He's been ever present all season in this competition and in the league. He's a rare scorer. I make that his first goal since last November, over a year. It's the 1-1 with Tokyo Verdy. Okay, they check it, but it is good again. It's like the brief offside scare that wasn't offside for the first goal. And the ruthlessness of Vissel Kobe is hurting Shanghai Shenhua tonight. Ino. Foul by Chun Shinichi, who was born in Japan. Chun, the Shenhua left back, left his foot in on Nanasino. Tsuya Nagato here to deliver this free kick to the penalty area. It's defended by Asue. Try and pull forwards. Gao Tianyi will be the target. And the ball across needed to be a little bit better. Well, that was an opportunity to do something on the counter, no question, for Shanghai Shenhua. But that final ball just wasn't good enough. And that reaction says it all from Leonid Slutsky, 54-year-old, born in Volgograd. He had 3 years with Rubin Kazan. Back in his homeland, very briefly a coach at Hull City 8 years ago in England. Yoroki put 2 on him. He needed 2 men there. It would have been so different if either of Andre Luiz's attempts had hit the bullseye early doors when Shanghai Shenhua were on top. But they didn't, and they're not. Yoroki. Forget his miss, of course, Koya Yoroki. Marafa. Oh, he's been bustled off it by Yoroki there. And has to call on Jiang to help him out. Throw in here. Not long now to make an impact before we hear the half-time whistle for Shanghai Shenhua. Osako with that layoff. Ireguchi, he's dispossessed, picked up by Gao Chen Yi. Zhou Teixeira, Salamanero, Luis Asway in the middle. Oh. Run out of ideas, don't have the guile to properly take on Vissel Kobe with the ball at their feet, Shenhua. A radical reboot is needed if they're to get out the Japanese visitors tonight. Kobe have managed and mastered the intensity of the occasion. It might have been a little wayward, but a nice cushion here for them at the break. Shanghai Shenhua are unbeaten in their last 7 at home here. They lost just 1 match here at the Shanghai Stadium in the entirety of the league season. That was against Paul. Wouldn't you just know it, Kevin Muscat's team. Result that arguably cost them the title. Philip from Asway on Kawasaki as we tiptoe into stoppage time at the end of the first half at the Shanghai Stadium. Attempts on goal in this first half. 5 of them on target from Vissel Kobe, just 2 from Shenhua. Still, the opportunity is there. Eno puts it behind, corner. Chenyi swings it in, very tight in on the goalkeeper, but he left to deal with it there. Kind of scrambled half away, if you can call it that. Wilson Manafa to send it back in, and no one gambling there. Saulo Mineiro just stopped running. And Vissel Kobe soak up more pressure. Shenhua, for all their struggles in this group, not been beaten at home yet. 1-1 with Ulsan HD. They beat FC Seoul here by 2-0. A draw, a win, and at the moment are heading for a defeat to complete the set, because the Vissel Kobe has survived early scares and then established control of this AFC Champions League Elite East Zone tie, with the goals from Yusuke Ideguchi and Tetsushi Yamakawa in the space of 8 minutes, just crowning their dominance at that stage in the first half, and are looking good value at the moment for another away win as they tiptoe towards the qualification for sure from this group. Shanghai Shenhua 0, Vissel Kobe 2 at half-time here in Shanghai. Welcome back to the Shanghai Stadium. Tatsushi Yamakawa scored the second goal for Vissel Kobe in that first half, adding to Yusuke Ideguchi's tap-in 7 minutes earlier. Shanghai Shenhua down by 2 here. Sal Minero not the only one struggling in that first half for the home team. Do they have a recovery in them? There's been a change at the break here. Ibrahim Amadou has come on for a little bit more steel and presence, I think, really, in the Shanghai, the Shenhua midfield. They need a recovery operation to be launched. Second half starts here in Shanghai. The home team staring down the barrel of their first home defeat in 8 matches, first in this season's competition, after a really competent and clinical attacking display by Vissel Kobe in the first half. Saulo Mineiro with the first challenge, but hassles the defender a little bit too much for the referee's assistant's liking. Vissel Mineiro, his first start since the summer, full of running and enthusiasm, if you will, but one or two occasions in that first 45 looked like he was a little bit off the pace. This is a third continental campaign for Vissel Kobe as Yuya Osako wants the ball in. They're behind him. It all started in 2020. They qualified for AFC competitions for the first time when they won the Emperor's Cup in 2019. The first of their 4 trophies in the following 6 years. Got to the semi-final. Competition complicated by COVID, which ended up in centralised venues in the latter stages. Beat by Ulsan HD in Doha that year, 2020. And we're back again in season 22. Got to the quarter-finals. Again, Korean opposition did for them. Jeonbuk Motors knocked them out. Really bright start to the second half here from Saulo. These body check there by Tatsushi Yamakawa. They recovered their composure remarkably. Yuki Honda and Yuya Kawasaki were both booked in that first half. Both kept their noses clean since. Yamakawa, the third Vissel Kobe player to be booked. The captain and scorer of that really cute second goal. Slung in, difficult to defend. Zhu will pick it up, blind side. Swung in by Chun, and then nodded wide. 2 of them queuing up on the far post. Jiang Shunlong ended up getting his head to that cross. As a big ball swung in, just drifts a little behind Zhu Chunye. But they recovered well enough to clip it across there through Chun. It's wide from Jiang, centre half. It's an established partnership, Jiang Shunlong and Zhu Chunye at the back there for Shanghai Shenhua. Yamakawa. It's the deal again with Saulo Mineiro. Corner here for Shanghai Shenhua. Gao Tianyi started all AFC Champions League Elite matches this season for Shanghai Shenhua. Will take it. Here it is, a little bit too close to the goalkeeper, really. Gonda not convincing in his clearance. There's the overhead, and Gonda watches it wide. It was Wu Shi, the captain for Shenhua, who tried to be spectacular. Just wouldn't drop, would it? That's not far wide at all from Wu Shi. Scored 10 in the league, level with Andre Luis in CSL this season. Shenhua, who are playing their 14th AFC competition. Manafa comes forward down the right. Crosses too low. What about the retrieval? Chun Shinichi picks it up. That was Amadou. Pretty much his first touch, I think, that. Ibrahim Amadou in the middle there. Here he comes, surging into the area. Last ditch, Ideguchi has nicked the ball away from Amadou's run. Then Gao Tianyi just drifts away from Manafa. Tied it up by Kawasaki. Back with Gonda. Comes straight back here at Vissel Kobe. Zhao Teixeira is going to try and feed it across. Touched in by Andre Luis on the near post. Flag was up. Well, Andre Luis near post. Saulo Mineiro in behind him on the far. And it was Luis who just extends that leg. Let's spool it back. Turning from the offside position. Yeah. Referee's assistant waits to see how involved Andre Luis was, just returning from offside, interfering by dint of the fact that he finishes off the move. And that's given hope to Leonid Slutsky's team. He won 3 Russian Premier League titles with CSKA Moscow in 7 years in the Russian capital between 2009 and 2016. Also coached in Netherlands with the Vitesse Arnhem. Russia, his homeland, the country in which he won titles, as Daiju Sasaki doesn't get hold of that attempt before coming to China and lifting the Super Cup both in 2024 and 2025. He's got a bit fortunate there, Daiju Sasaki, because it was a complete miss-hit from centre right. It's taken just a nick there of, I think, Chun Shinichi. Combination from the corner worked short, resulted in the Yamakawa back header. That doubled Vissel Kobe's lead in the first half. This time's a little bit more direct. Ideguchi. And against Saulo Mineiro, slung forward by Manafa. There's a runner, Osako, might break here for Yuruki, picks it up really well, great quick feet. Koya Yuruki gives it to Daiju Sasaki, and Yuruki again. Crosses deep. But Nanasino is there and does really well. Had to be the challenge by Chun, was. But it's another corner. Now then, Taisei Miyashiro off the bench to be a goal-scoring hero against Gangwon. He also scored against Shanghai Po here in this city on match night 1, the top scorer in J1 for Vissel Kobe. And it's another indication of just how deep and potentially devastating their squad is. Players have the ability of Taisei Miyashiro to come on. 11 goals in J1 this year. Nose corner. No reflection on Yuruki's performance. He's done really well tonight. Hino He was embarrassed there. Manafa was picked up by Osako. If he can clip it across. Looking to involve Miyashiro in the penalty area straight off the bat here. Saulo Mineiro is going to pick it up, and he's got Yamakawa backtracking. Saulo Mineiro seems to be moving a little bit freer now, but barnstorming. Has to get between Yamakawa and Honda, loses possession. Vissel Kobe with a quick transition. Miyashiro. It's a straight switch over there. Miyashiro is on the left of the forward three. Second year in Kobe for Taisei Miyashiro. Came through the youth system at Kawasaki Frontale. 22 goals in 64 matches all in. He came off the bench at half-time in Gangwon. 3-0 down at that point. Miyashiro scored 2. And the scorer as well of Vissel Kobe's goal against Matchday Zelvia at the National Stadium at the weekend in the Emperor's Cup final. Sasaki in no rush whatsoever to get up and on with it. Chun is booked. Free kick, targeting the man at the back post, Miyashiro. Don't think we're done for goals tonight. There have been 31 goals this week in AFC Champions League Elite. More excitement, more thrills and spills. Plenty to admire and get out of your seat or off the couch for. And yesterday we saw Al Wada and Al Hilal make sure of their qualification, still with 3 matches to play in the West Zone. Al Hilal beat Al Shorter. Expects so much from the Saudi clubs, not least the 4-time winners. Al Wada as well, beating Al Sadd by 3-1. Fabulous first half for the campaign for the team that finished 3rd in the UAE Pro League, Al Wada. So Al Hilal 15 points, Al Wada 13 points. So even if they were to collapse in the course of the last 3 match days, they'd still be through. Victory tonight for Vissel Kobe lifts them to 12 points. They're pretty much home and hosed as well in terms of passage through to the last 16. Last season was the first time Shanghai Shenhua had survived the group stages of AFC competitions in 19 years. They were quarter-finalists way back in 2006. And they lost to the eventual winners, Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. That on the back of a title win in 2003 that was later removed from them. They were stripped of that The CSL win in 2003 because of a scandal that only emerged years after the event. And after both of these qualified for the last 16, well, last year didn't last too much longer at all. Well beaten in the second leg of the last 16, Shanghai Shenhua by the Kawasaki Frontale. And it was even more heartbreaking for Vissel Kobe. They won the first leg of their last 16 match by 2-0 against Guangzhou, but then lost the second leg 3-0. Shenhua had beaten Frontale as well in their first leg match here. Got that 1-0 and then lost the second match 4-0. Osaka always looking busy. It's Kawasaki setting them up again. There's the cross in for Miyashiro. Manafa, that's not a good clearance. Here's Ino. Hideguchi just tries to float one up and over for Sasaki. No. Resisting the urge to make more changes. Not sure Amadou's had much of a quantifiable impact in the middle there for Shenhua. Kawasaki. Honda, delightful little nick on there by Osako for Sasaki. Osako takes it on, waits for Hideguchi. The chase of the move that led to the first goal there for Vissel Kobe. The Sasaki and back in field. And a problem there with a foul on João Teixeira. Getting quite a disconsolate figure. Teixeira right now. This is when you need your veterans, your bigger players to step up. Well, Teixeira did play Europa League for Liverpool, be a decade ago come next February, but was being used very sparingly, really, loaned out to Brighton. Booking for Teixeira. Ino. Osako. just looks so comfortable to a man in possession of Vissel Kobe. Go as far as total football, but it is that kind of approach. A sense that anyone's able to play anywhere. This is awkward. Goalkeeper comes out, drops awkwardly. Andre Luis tries to pump it forward. There's a slip there. Saulo Mineiro, no foul. This could pull one back and make things very interesting. Saulo Mineiro has somehow forced it over the line. Goodness me. It wiped its feet, didn't it, there from Saulo Mineiro? You thought he'd over-egged it, but no. One back for Shanghai Shenhua. Saulo Mineiro, the returning hero, still with 25 minutes to go, gives Shenhua a fighting chance here. It was Yuki Honda who tumbled. He was deep within his own half when he started that run. They do supremely well, Vissel Kobe, to get 3 men back on the line. And sheer safety in numbers, you think there is going to deny Saulo Mineiro, but he was able to force it home. Goodness me, that was a breathless finish, but it was a finish from Saulo Mineiro. Almost inevitably, we go to VAR. I think this is for a potential foul as Saulo Mineiro for illegally shaking off Yuki Honda. He sort of steadies himself. There is the little look round, isn't there, from Saulo Mineiro to check where the defender is and at what angle he's coming in to challenge. Just that little look to his left from Saulo Mineiro. Big call for the referee here. This could ruin Shanghai Shenhua's night if that is deemed a foul and a free kick. So he's had a look. He's given a free kick. Wow. And now the decision is being explained away. No goal. Oh, that is harsh on the Shanghai Shenhua fans and the Saulo Mineiro. And now the coach has seen enough. Got a switch coming in. Gao is being replaced. Yeah, so in then comes Yang Boyu. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, go again. Yamakua. There is charge down. So, a chance to be a hero here. He's only 19, is young. 3 goals in the league, off the bench 14 times. Did have a start against Gangwon here in this competition. Love a goal in it, and so would Shanghai Shenhua. Chun Shinichi. Zhao Teixeira. Just threads it over the top. Andre Luis wide left, straight offside. Well, he's been very effectively dealt with by the Vissel Kobe backline, Andre Luis, since the opening forays in this match. Often falls wide to try and enjoy a little bit of time on the ball. Swept up and over the top, Osako. To Sasaki. It's a good challenge. Andre Luis tangling there with Ino. Played Honda. Comes back with Sasaki. Miyashiro. Hideguchi. Nagato. You can pass it around in triangles all night, Vissel Kobe. Kawasaki does the sensible thing, recycles it. Gonda. Amadou. Nagato. Oh, really nicely done there by Nagato. Ino. Osako just withdraws from that forward line just to become an auxiliary midfielder when they're in the possession and building the play up from the back. Andre Luis. He's going to try and get something for that. But a Korean official doesn't oblige. Less than 20 minutes to go with the 90. First there, country versus country battle for Shanghai Shenhua, People's Republic of China against Japan in this section. Match day 6. That's on the 9th and 10th of December. Osako tries to break the lines. Shenhua go to Hiroshima. And then in February, Machida Zelvia will come here. Shanghai Shenhua finish against Buriram United, the last of their 8 matches in this group, on the 17th of February. Vissel Kobe are back at the Novair against Chengdu Rongchong, 9th of December. They're at home too, the 10th of February against FC Seoul. Finish at Johor, 17th of Feb. Qualification, of course, #1 requirement, basic requirement, but don't want to finish as high in the table as possible. Of course, that's critical as well, but it's all relative, isn't it, in terms of get out of the group phase. Nice to have the pressure off over the last few matches, but it'll be 1st versus 8th, 2nd versus 7th, and so on when we come into the round of 16. Finals week next spring will be in Riyadh in Saudi. Well, I do think he's had another wonderful display. Yuya Osako, well, a little bit upset. There's contact with the left knee there, and Takayuki Yoshida will be worried as well at any potential injury sustained by this man, the legend. 5th year back with Vissel Kobe in Japanese football. He started out with the Kashima Antlers, with whom he won the J-League way back in 2009, Yuya Osako. 8 titles, 8 cup wins all in with the Antlers. Three with Vissel Kobe. trod the well-worn path of seeking fame and fortune in Europe. 4 years with the Cologne, and went on to Werder Bremen as well, Osaka, back in Japan in 2021. Saulo Mineiro is going to use Amadou here, and that's disappointing. Well, there's no pressure on Amadou there, the Douala-born French under-19 international, the substitute, who hasn't really had the kind of influence that Leonid Slutsky would have demanded when he made the switch. "15 minutes remaining. Saulo Mineiro remains dejected at having that goal ruled out. Wu Shi. Ideguchi hassling João Teixeira there. Not entirely sure the ball was in at all there. From that throw-in a little bit further up the pitch. Chinese teams have won this competition 3 times down the years, 2 of them for Guangzhou Evergrande. Marcello Lippi and Luis Felipe Scolari, World Cup winning coaches of Italy and Brazil respectively. Won the Continental Crown for the Guangzhou club when the dominant team in Asia mid-2010s. In terms of wins, China the joint 5th most successful nation. 8 Japanese clubs have reached 14 finals in the history of this competition in its various guises. Yellow card for Saulo as the frustrations bubble over. Arua Reds without outsized success for the status of that club from Saitama, with 3 AFC Champions League wins. Jubilo Iwata, Jeff United, Gamba Osaka, Tokyo Verdy have all won this competition as well. Arua Reds 3 wins, the same as Pohang Steelers, and 1 behind Al Hilal's record of 4 wins. The Japanese team has featured in 6 of the last 8 finals, winning 3. Kashima Antlers with 1 win, and the Reds winning in 2017 and 2022. By contrast, no Chinese team has got beyond the quarter-final stage since 2019, when Guangzhou Evergrande, coached by that stage by Fabio Cannavaro, who was Marcello Lippi's World Cup winning captain in the Germany World Cup of 2006. They were knocked out then by Arua Reds Evergrande. The Reds then losing to Al Hilal in the final. It's Ya. Amadou. His cross a few moments ago was way too heavy, and now he's forced the defender to make a clearance that time, Amadou. And the cross is a little bit too high and hanging kindly for Shuichi Gonda. Nanasino. Nudge in behind. Miyashiro Osako's there. He's going to try and feed it across for Sasaki there. Miyashiro. Amadou. Wu Shi. Elects to hit Saulo Mineiro long and early. Andre Luis and Teixeira moving into position. There's the ball back for Manafa. There's a tumble and a penalty. It's Andre Luis who connected there with Yamakawa. The referee needed no second glance there. Straight to the spot he goes. Lifeline potentially now for Shanghai Shenhua. Early cross in from Manafa's a tangle. Andre Luis. And it was, in fact, Honda, wasn't it, in behind Yamakawa. Wu Shi, the penalty taker, the captain, normally is going to hand the reins over here to Andre Luis. Wu Shi scored against Tianjin in that last league match of the season. Andre Luis on target as well from the penalty spot against Dalian Yingbo. 4 goals in his last 5, including that penalty. And an 89th minute goal against FC Seoul in this competition. No one stopping him from taking this. Inside the last 10 minutes, this to set up a thrilling finish in Shanghai. Andre Luis won the penalty, takes the penalty, and sees the penalty saved by Shuichi Gonda. With an entire stadium and a coach, no doubt, beseeching him to just give it some welly. Little song and dance on the way in, and credit Gonda, he guesses right. It has to be a better penalty, I'm afraid, from Andre Luis. Chun with a follow-up corner at least, and the header drops wide. So a goal disallowed from Saulo Mineiro, missed penalty. Chances have come and gone on another night. He scores a hat-trick, Andre Luis. I remember those opportunities he was presented with inside the opening 10 minutes. Okay, you can miss chances, but don't miss penalties. That's all we ask. More big guns here, as they really stretch the depth of the squad. The Vissel Kobe. Eric, the Brazilian, comes in. Nanasaino is replaced. So Eric Lima, the 31-year-old, looking for another goal in Shanghai, scored against Port. Hideguchi Nagato. Hideguchi, the layoff. Miyashiro prods it through. It's Sasaki, turns back inside, tries to find Osako. No, nothing doing there. Patient build-up play again continues. And no suggestion as well that they're going to sit on the lead either. Outswinging corner, Sasaki, Eric! What an impact that would have been. He just spins up and against him, kicks up into the air. First year in Kobe for Eric, on loan from Machida Zelvia, and a year and a half with the Marinos as well. 2019 and 2020. Salomonero's dejected, and no wonder. Ilhan Chu now in with a little more than 5 minutes to try and do something. Midfield player. Just haven't quite had the quality needed tonight, Shanghai Shenhua. Can't fault the effort, but Vissel Kobe just a level above, really. Ogiara there with the pass, Osako. It's confirmation of that second switch with Eric. Ogiara, member of that sort of interchangeable midfield unit. Wrong side of 30, he's turned 34. Fourth year, couple of J1 wins with Kobe and with the Marinos before that. Up and over the top for you. There's Honda. Second ball one. Over Amadou. Manafa. Zhu Chunye. Chun Shinichi. Zhao Teixeira. Nudge through for Chun here if he can get there. Kicks it up and against Yamaka, or at least corner. One of the players on a yellow card here, as well as Teixeira and Saulo Mineiro. Still in the danger zone, in the drop zone essentially, in AFC Champions League Elite East Zone. Shenhua, Zhu, Yang. There goes Yang, getting past Miyashiro, but not Ideguchi. Shuchinye. Wuxi. Clever little ball. Territory here for Shenhua. Wuxi, Andre Luiz, it's over him and too far ahead of Manafa. But again, they applaud the idea, just hasn't happened. You just don't know the way this section's going to pan out now for Shenhua. I think we've seen worse teams in this competition this season, but you miss penalties, don't take your chances. They didn't in the first 10 minutes, and superior opposition is always going to punish. There's Andre Luiz with that layoff. Teixeira lets fly and can't get it on target at the level now where they'll try anything and have to go for broke. Zhao Teixeira unable to score his 8th goal of this season. And out to the attempt he got in stoppage time at the end of the first half against Gangwon. Eric takes it on. There's the challenge. Miyashiro in. Osako always seems to do something with the ball, Yuya Osako. Just feeds it on to Sasaki. We are on the nose here of 89, 90 minutes. There'll be 4 minutes of stoppages for Vissel Kobe to see out here, to wrap it up. Andre Luis there with the nudge down. Teixeira. Teixeira digs out the pass. Manafer striding forward from right back here. Plenty of options. Andre Luis through the middle. We've got Yang wide right here. If he can clip the ball across, which he can. And then Andre Luis is there, desperate to make amends for the penalty miss, but can't do so. Where he was stationed there, 3/4 of the way across towards the back post. Cross is just a little bit high for him. And it's you in behind him, isn't it, that's best poised there. But Yang has looked lively since coming on, giving them an option in that right-sided midfield position. There's Wu Shi. Spin round from Sasaki. Wu Shi up and over. He's going to get there first here. Andre Luis, goalkeeper thought better about coming out. It's Andre Luis, tries the chip. Finally, Andre Luis gets it right. No, he doesn't. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So let's make that a missed penalty for Shanghai Shenhua tonight. 2 disallowed goals. That's why. Fair play for taking it on. At that point, the Vissel Kobe defenders don't know that Andre Luis had started inches offside, just too slow in getting back. Well, he's seen a lot. The hangdog, Leonid Slutsky. They're still not out of it in this group. 9 more points still to play for, but they have to step it up in the next 2 rounds of matches against Japanese opposition. Maybe a touch if he's lucky here for Ren Komatsu. He played 1 minute at the end of the Ulsan HD win. More of a filler in the squad, Ren Komatsu. I don't think he's even going to get on the pitch here. They don't need him. Got their business done early, in a sense, tonight. Vissel Kobe, that will be that for this one. It's been an excellent performance, all in from the Vissel Kobe. Komatsu, well, Takayuki Yoshida is determined to give him an appearance, as Yuya Osako, after another wonderful display helping out his team, is withdrawn at the end of stoppage time. Vissel Kobe are going to push clear at the top of AFC Champions League Elite East Zone. It's going to be played 5-1-4, lost just the single match. Eric, he tried the cross, It's cut out. Job done for Vissel Kobe. They move up to 12 points in AFC Champions League Elite East Zone. That's 3 clear of Melbourne City. They are right on the cusp of automatic qualification. Realistically, they are there in the last 16 with 3 games to spare. Shanghai Shenhua, not so. Played 5, just 4 points, just the 1 win, and now 3 defeats. And they have to start winning when the next round of fixtures rolls around in a couple of weeks' time. It has to be a win or the avoidance of defeat at Sanfrecce Hiroshima for Leonid Slutsky's team. The pressure is off, the foot comes off the pedal a little bit now from Vissel Kobe after an excellent display, professional and polished and clinical when it needed to be. Shanghai Shenhua dominated the early exchanges in this one, but Vissel Kobe remained calm, got control and scored 2 goals before half-time, then protected the lead. 3 disallowed goals all in from Shanghai Shenhua, and they missed a penalty, but Vissel Kobe ultimately were too good tonight. Ideguchi and Yamakawa with the goals in the first half. Vissel Kobe win again for the 4th time in 5 in this AFC Champions League Elite group and stay top of the pile.